Commission meeting.
Oh.
Nikki, can we do roll call?
Danetta Key Wheeler.
Here.
Shelley Haney.
Here.
Alex Jordan.
Here.
Ruth Hess.
Here.
Larry Longman.
Here.
Brian Hurley is not here yet. And Shannon Walls is absent tonight.
All right. Next we have the meeting minutes from last meeting, June 6th.
Nikki, on page 2, there's a paragraph that starts with Mr. Hess.
Who?
Good catch.
He wasn't here.
Nope.
Who was I referring to?
I think it was Mrs. Hess.
Oh,
Ms.
Hess.
Hess.
I thought you said just the letter S.
Oh, I'm
What?
sorry.
I apologize.
Hess.
I will fix that.
That was the only thing I found.
We got it right later on.
Yep, we did.
Okay. Anybody else have anything?
Nope.
Okay. Well, then I just need a motion to approve the minutes with the revision of Mr. Hess to Miss Hess.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes with that change.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All
Oh, I
opposed?
don't even know if I can vote. Can I vote? I wasn't here. No.
You weren't
I
here,
can't
so
vote.
you'd
I can't vote.
abstain.
Okay.
No.
Motion
can't.
passes 3-0.
I was just saying.
Oh, I guess you got
Yeah.
it. So.
Change the
You
second.
want to do that again?
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
do that.
Let's just practice one more time.
I'll make a motion we approve the minutes with the change from Mr. Hess to Ms. Hess.
I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor? Aye.
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 All opposed? Motion passes 3-0. Next, we have the financial report.
Nothing crazy other than you'll see we got our June draw, so the balances have changed. Brookside, you'll see the reflection of the hangar and there, so that's why that's down. But we did receive 41,000 in that in June. We should receive a similar amount in December, so that'll build back up as we continue. Our plan is still to address the Brookside and do an update, kind of how we did to Consolidated Broadway. We need to update the economic development plan, get some additional projects in, and kind of create what the future of that area is going to be through the TIF district. So we'll try to get to that towards the end of the year. It's not the end of the world if we don't. We're not necessarily adding or expanding that district. We're just simply updating the economic development plan and making it current. So.
What's sorry, question. What's Air Company? Airco.
Airco did the asbestos removal.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, they did the removal. So, for the hangar. So, Broadway, we'll have some expenses coming out of there with the 600 properties, as well as, we'll get to it in a little bit with the Thomas property purchase. We can determine if we're going to take that out of the seeded dollars or the TIF dollars. Right now, we're okay on, we're doing well on the TIF cash flow, so we probably go that route. But we'll evaluate it and make a recommendation to the RDC when that time comes. And then everything else, we ended up taking the demo out of the HRH TIF allocation area. That account's healthy right now. We're fine. On the bond account, we're actually more than positive now. So we'll actually also kind of look at these and see if this division still makes sense, or if the HRH allocation area can be rolled into the Brookside, or how we want to manage that. And then operating, just your typical expenses. We should. Oh no, sorry. This is McCord Square. I was thinking the police station one. That one's about done. So
When And when you said we took Casey Bertram out of the TIF allocate, you really mean we funded it?
We funded
through
it
that,
through
right?
that.
Okay.
Correct. So nothing out of the ordinary that should be surprising to you.
Yeah. Looks good to me.
Healthy balances, and we're still in our back of our head planning for the bond payments next year, and making sure that we don't overspend this year so that we're comfortable in our first bond payments from McCord Square. So, should be fine.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? Nope. Okay, we can head on to old business. We got the Broadway property update.
Yeah, so we looked, if you remember, we inquired about this property. So I got a hold of the realtor, and it for some reason seemed to be the most popular property in McGordsville.
It's not in McCord Square?
They had multiple offers already. They were debating between the top two, and they had a counter already out by the time I got a hold of them. So the top two were buy here, pay here, expansions out of car dealers out of Lawrence area. So we were a little late to the game, I guess. And I'm always up front when I talk to them. I say, look, this is what our plan is. I'm going to have to spend money, and I need way more time than a normal person would need. So they were open to that. I wish I would have got to them a little sooner, because I think they liked what we had to say, but I'm just a little late to that game. So we'll see what that develops. We haven't heard from the person that has the option on purchasing it, but we understand there's an accepted offer pending due diligence. So
Okay.
we'll keep you posted, and we'll keep an eye on it if it comes available again. It's one that I think will make a lot of sense in the long term for us. What we did want to, oh, I already passed it. While we're talking about the concept of trying to start on Broadway, we did want to, there is another parcel here that we apparently inquired 4 years ago or so. Former trading post property burned down.
Yep.
Burned down, has been sitting there. 4 years ago, the owner wasn't overly interested in selling it. This is another one where you can't do a lot on it. It's tiny. It was tiny from their previous plats. But we could put a nice sidewalk, either pocket park or even possibly, just brainstorming. None of this has been there. Maybe the church could expand a little parking, and we might be able to swap them for the land right here across from the community center, or we're not sure what we could do, but it's another cleanup property along Broadway that doesn't have a lot of use to it other than redevelopment coming in and cleaning it up, adding sidewalk, making it look better. So we have no idea if they're interested in selling or not. It's not on the market or anything, but a kind of last month request. Is this something you wouldn't mind staff picking up the phone, calling, and see if there's interest in possibly acquiring this property and doing something with it?
Yeah.
So,
Why not?
I'm okay with
Is
that.
it the same owners that owned it when this trading post?
I believe so, yeah. It's a father and son duo who, at the time, still thought they could redevelop the site. We tried to explain at the time that's not possible on this
Yeah.
site. Hopefully, 4 years later, they grasp that better now.
it could be a quick no too, but
Yep.
again, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. We want to make sure it's something you're okay with us looking
It
into.
represents a really good opportunity to clean up a property on Broadway and start
Yeah.
that process of getting reinvestment in some of these older struggling properties.
Mhm. Yeah.
All right, we'll hopefully there's not 16 people lined up for that property tomorrow.
It's the other car dealership.
It's incredible. I will say the price was right. She wasn't over asking on it, so that was part of the reason.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, next we have the Thomas property purchase agreement.
yeah, so this from last time we drafted the purchase agreement. This came up late today, so you probably haven't thumbed through it. This was negotiated some last change. We gave them purchase agreement. They came back with some red lines. Greg got a hold of their attorney, hashed out this draft of it. I guess I downloaded it twice. So this is the final draft with the caveat of they need to review it and sign off on the final version. So what we're requesting, there was nothing out of the ordinary, right, Greg? It was
No,
pretty standard
just
language.
a couple of things that were added since last they saw it. Number one, there's a provision that if we destroy crops in utilizing that, then we pay either the sellers or the seller's tenant, and and that's pretty standard. And then the second one was language about that the parties agree to use good faith efforts to do the temporary construction easement, the language of which was, we just didn't have time today to get it all ironed out and
Yeah.
back to you.
And
They said that, their lawyer said that two of the Thomases are easily contacted, but one must live out of state somewhere, and it was a little more
Yeah.
difficult. But he thought within a week or two, he should be back with us on the final okay.
Yep. And so so what happened with the crop is they planted their field this year. Well, the way that the police station final layout was with setbacks, right-of-way, utilities, sidewalk, most of the main access road of the reason we're buying this ended up on the Thomas property. So we're getting ready to start pushing dirt next week, but we haven't acquired the property yet for this portion of it. So we're probably going, as we do the survey and get the legal description done and get to closing with the Thomases, we're probably going to be ahead of them on needing to push some dirt over here. So we're going to need a temporary construction easement, and unfortunately, because we're not at the end of crop season, we're probably going to destroy a chunk of crops. So we're going to have to pay the leasee of the crops, the value of those crops that we destroy. So we've kind of outlined based on this. We obviously don't need to do that for the entire portion we're buying or the portion we're
just
building
whatever,
on.
yeah.
So it's about a 50-foot swath and about a 200-foot long swath of property that we might need to do this for. So get a construction easement, and then we'll have to reimburse their lease on it. But so you can see we're actually buying a lot more than we're asking for the construction easement. But
Do you
so
know,
it's a timing issue.
so Ruth pointed out, I think clause 22, under P, or, P.
Pete?
Do you know what the crop damage
No.
number is?
We
Is
won't
it-
until we know how much we damaged.
Yeah.
Well, but what's the rate though? Like 1,200 an acre or something?
No, no. It'll be whatever. I don't know if it's in corn or beans.
It's
and
corn.
We'll probably have, quite frankly, we'll probably wait until he harvests it to know how many bushels per acre and can break that down to, and then it'll just be the price per acre that, or price per bushel that was on the day we damaged it.
Yeah.
We can do that historically. But without knowing, I mean, it could be a bumper crop, it could be a terrible crop, or it could be an average crop. It's just hard to say.
Well, I mean, those terms with them and bring it back. So there's a method for how we calculate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know when I used to do this, we just set a rate and said, if we damage it, it's $1,000 an acre or whatever.
Yep. Yeah. This kind of came up pretty late, so.
Yep.
We want to get it in here. So we're not ready to sign this tonight, by the way. So, but what we are looking for is so that we're not falling further behind and waiting another month.
But the goal is to have it for your August, I think August 1st is your next meeting, is that right?
Well, the goal is we were going to have you approve it pending
yes.
final
Okay.
approval from the Thomas family, and then authorize Alex to sign it when ready.
Okay,
So
that's fine.
we can tighten up some of that language. We still have time to tighten up some of that language if we want to get it back to them. There's
Well,
no
it's just-
rush.
Is this an offer letter or is this actually
This
the
is
PSA?
Purchase
The
agreement.
agreement?
This is the
This is the
actual
purchase
purchase.
agreement.
We just skipped a step and went right to the purchase
Okay.
agreement.
I couldn't, I thought that we did that.
Instead of going back and forth with general terms, we were basically there, so we just said, let's just get it done. And I'll probably get the survey going so we can get the legal description, so we can get the closing
Mhm.
as soon as possible, because
Are you
we're
gonna
already
do
a
it?
hair behind.
Were you going to do a phase one? We talked about that, but
I don't know, it's farmland.
Yeah.
I don't know that we
Okay,
need
that's
to.
fine, yeah. I was just thinking about
If there was a
that.
building we were buying, I probably would, but buying farm
Or
ground.
a building that we were gonna build.
Or, if something historic. I'll look back on the aerials,
It's
but I don't
okay.
think there was ever a building in this chunk. I think it was all farmland.
Oh, I think so.
So I think we're okay on the phase one. So I
Okay.
think we just need to get a legal description draft
survey.
up the closing documents and, what?
Yep. All for the temporary construction.
No, for the, we have legal for that? Okay, we'll figure that part out.
Do you think that phase one for the original McCord Square would have incorporated that anyway?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Well,
So, I can get a phase one if you'd like me to.
No, I
Wouldn't.
just didn't know.
I don't think it's
I
a,
don't think it's
They're
necessary.
gonna go out there and go, we saw these beans growing or whatever. So they couldn't even see anything anyway, yeah.
it'd be different if we were buying a property, a building.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay, well, we'll wait to hear back, if
We
you
need a
have any,
motion, yes.
you got this late, so feel free to read through it and kick back any comments, clarifications you want. We still have time to amend between parties, so.
So do you want the motion tonight to authorize Alex to sign? Okay.
Yeah,
Otherwise, we have to wait till the first.
which it might get to there, but.
Yeah, maybe anyway, but yes.
But yeah, if we could do a motion to approve the purchase agreement pending
Revision.
approval from the seller.
Acceptance of the seller.
Acceptance from the seller, and authorizing the RDC president to sign once approved.
Okay. Who wants
I can
to-
restate that if you want.
Or you can just say so moved.
Didn't that just look at me like, what
Inclined.
did you just say?
So moved.
There you go.
Wow.
That's it.
I'm learning.
I'll second
Strong.
that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The motion passes 4-0. Okay.
Thank you to Ryan for putting this temporary construction easement together today, so.
Yeah.
Again, that was kind of the curveball that came in at the last second.
I was
where
gonna say, I
some
saw
other
the
problems
same.
on there.
I'm sorry. Ryan, did you send that to me?
I sent it to you this
You did?
afternoon.
Okay,
I can forward the email with that.
thank you.
All right. Now on to the new business. We've got McCord Square taxpayer agreement and grant of real property tax lien.
So this is the minimum taxpayer agreement, if you will, for the IU Health Project at the corner of Main and 600. What this effectively does is, whoever the owner is, as long as, if it's Cornerstone and they're a taxable entity, they're paying taxes. If they sell it to a not-for-profit, they're still paying taxes, and there's formula in this for how they pay those taxes. This is recorded and runs with the property and gives us a first lien on the property if taxes aren't being paid. And it runs concurrent to the TIF bond. So it's for a term of 25 years.
So when it says lot one of McCord Square, is that per a replat?
Yeah,
Because isn't it really like a whole bunch of?
There is the fourth, or I can't read it from here. The fourth, we added this. The parties hereby agree that the effective date of this agreement, the real estate is part of a replatting, which will result in a new legal description and parcel number, and that the parties agree that upon completion of the replatting, we will sign a new parcel number and we will do an amendment to this agreement reflecting that. So we're agreeing that right now there's 5 parcels and
Okay.
a 6th actually, and that's all going to be one parcel, and that we'd rather record this as a single parcel with a single address and parcel ID. So
And where did you say this is?
the corner is 600 in Main, so it's the proper, the reason you're a signator is you own this land with Rebar. You have an agreement with Rebar, so it's right here. Sorry, actually right here.
Basically where that coffee shop.
Right next to the
Where
coffee, just south of
South.
the coffee
South
shop.
of that, yeah.
So it would be the entrance and then of McCord Square off of 600.
And there's already something planned, there's something planned there. It may have been in the last.
Yeah, I can. If I can
Yep, your competitor is coming to town.
I don't know if I'm
Let
gonna
them try. Oh, we're not out here anyways. We got enough stuff. Dear God. Jeez.
Is that the most current one?
Wowzer.
Oh, no.
You're not kidding.
Danetta's eyes
Kevin.
just got burned.
Holy cow. No, maybe I can work closer to home. I mean, what are you talking about? I don't walk to work.
I don't think there's any administration.
So our concern was IU Health is obviously not for profit in name. But Cornerstone is building it and they are leasing from them. So we're okay as long as Cornerstone owns it, but Cornerstone may not own it forever. And with this being in our town center with bonds that we're taking out, the intent is that we're gonna be able to pay those bonds and do additional improvements that need to happen in McCord Square. So we wanted to make sure this was taxable throughout
Can't
that
believe
bond.
Hancock's not freaking out, people know the truth.
Ditto.
Dear
I
God.
thought the same.
Right in
I
their
thought-
backyard, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thought they would put the
I
shield
would
up.
think so too.
yeah. Whew. Okay.
So this has been signed by the town council and by Cornerstone, so you
Okay.
get to put the final stamp on it.
And this, Tim, is to be intended to be in the event that Cornerstone no longer
Right.
owns the property, then this kicks in.
Correct.
So even if IU were to buy from Cornerstone, then they're agreeing that they're gonna pay taxes on that?
They're
Yes.
agreeing to pay a minimum tax on this property.
Which denoted by history is what we did with Hancock.
That's what we did with Hancock.
Same thing, we said you can't
Yeah.
come in here and not pay taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we did it on real estate and equipment with Hancock, so.
Huh,
Okay,
great.
I'm good with it.
Yeah. What do you need, a motion?
Greg, what do I need?
Yeah, can you say that again and we'll say as stated?
So moved.
So moved.
We just need approval of the taxpayer agreement and grant a real property tax lien.
So moved.
And we'll need to change the signature
For Dr.
since
Burns.
Brian's not here.
Yeah. It's okay if you mark it out. It just doesn't look very professional, that's all.
I can go run.
Do you see a suit? Do not mark it out.
I will run back real quick at the end of
Does
this.
that mean I'm
edit
gonna
it, and
murder
bring it
him?
back
Because
together.
I'm like a
It'll
kid.
take some
Well,
two
that
hours.
I could run by tomorrow too.
Break his leg or something?
Oh, we can get it done real quick. That's fine.
Okay, all right, so I just need a second.
I'll second. Go ahead.
I'll say.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes 4-0. Okay, now we have a HEA 1241 annual meeting date and time.
Yeah, so, per state law, we're required to have an annual meeting, kind of reviewing our finances, our current projects, and potential future projects, kind of a snapshot of what the redevelopment commission's doing. We are to notice all the overlapping taxing units in case they want to come. I've yet to see one come in all my years. Actually, did we get one?
Yeah.
Oh, I think Flory did come last year, didn't she?
In Greenfield, we always get the school superintendent, because he's always asking for.
Hey, I welcome them though.
Yeah, and I thought the superintendent came last time too.
Did he? Okay.
So I need to get that date set. So we usually do it in July. As long as you get it done by year end, you're okay. So we'll put that together, and I'll present kind of a snapshot of the RDC at the next meeting. So I'll send out. There's an official notice I have to get out to the overlapping units. So if everyone's okay with it, I'll get that scheduled for next meeting.
All right, sounds good. Okay, staff report?
Yeah, I threw that on there in case there was something I missed, but I don't have anything.
I was gonna say, okay, I thought.
Kind of covered it all.
I think, yeah, I thought between old business and new business. we got
I just didn't want to cut off Larry again.
Oh,
so.
wait a minute,
Yeah.
we're gonna pull up the agenda.
Yeah.
Don't go
Okay.
too fast. Are you sure? Are you sure?
All right, we gotta stall up.
Yeah, you caught me. Caught me not ready here.
You're good.
I gotta find my notes.
I can believe Hancock's not all over that.
Well, he's doing that. I'm gonna
That's
run.
nuts.
Fix that.
I mean, and it's been months, so it's not like it's been a secret or anything. But wait for Steve Long to come out and yell at us or something.
Yeah.
I know about it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Did you have conversations with him, or just?
I did not, but I know they're aware of it.
Okay,
They've talked with IU, as my understanding as well.
okay.
So, I mean, so it's not a secret with me.
Wow.
Sure you're ready.
And they may offer non-competing.
Good,
Yeah.
found my notes, yeah.
All right.
I don't remember what they, like there's no OB or anything.
Tell me when you're
I
ready.
mean, just an office meeting, right?
I'm always
Yeah.
ready to
We're
go.
ready.
You ready?
We're ready.
Okay. All right.
They're gonna
So,
have some doctors in it, but I don't remember.
Let's see, we met on June 13th last month, and we actually had the Same presentation from Vernon Township Fire. Actually, I'm sorry, take that back. It was a budgetary presentation required really to approve their budget. Had a couple of public comments as well, primarily from Champion Lakes. One was in regards to some tree line issues with the new development at Colonnade, where the path comes through. They're concerned that the headlights of the cars would hit their house, and then another one was a dust complaint about the construction of the Colonnade. So we'll talk about Champion Lakes again before the meeting's over, but let's see. Some other highlights. We talked about Brookside had another plat that was signed for, and I'm not sure what section it was. We replaced a couple trucks for the DPW, approved, and then I think we later found out that those truck prices weren't honored, so we had to go back. Yeah, we had to go back and get new quotes again. Let's see, we actually have a contract from Christopher Burke. I don't know if this would interest you or not, but to do some supplemental review work for Public Works, sewers and things like that.
Yeah.
Hampton Cove replatted lots 13 and 14. What was the Vale Industrial secondary plat
That is
for
Al Nyer's
Nyer?
plat.
So that seems like that was a long time coming, maybe.
Yeah, especially, it's got the whole roof still, so.
Okay.
I was gonna say, no trucks yet.
Yeah. Yep. Let's see. We did the amendment to the zoning ordinance. Ryan's home run hit there. And then we also amended the McCourt Square PUD, similar stuff that we talked to here. So another couple hot items in town are like sewer service. So there's a resident in Champion Lakes that has had some challenges with sewer, and as it becomes, I guess, more relevant to our own town growth and the proximity of sanitary lines, if you have a failing septic and there's a sewer within, I think, 300 yards.
300 feet, I think.
300 feet, okay. You can't get a health department permit to actually fix your septic. You have to instead connect to the sewer that's within 300 feet. So that our growth kind of presents some challenges for Champion Lake as well. But regardless, we were trying to come up with a solution to help the resident in Champion Lake to connect. And that consumed a little bit of the meeting, trying to figure out what the best avenue was there. I think that's probably it. We approved the PD station stuff as well, just similar to what we did here. Talked about the development agreement that we just passed here. Traffic signal covenant. So at the north end of McCord Square, we entered in an agreement with NDOT, or at least we're negotiating an agreement with NDOT to become the responsible party for adding a traffic signal on the north end of the development when the time comes, when the traffic warrants it. Let's see. We also were approached by the city of Lawrence, by the way, about 900 North and 700 West. If everyone's familiar with that intersection, kind of dangerous. And they really want to initiate a project to put a roundabout there. And we had some overheads that showed how it would work. There's some McCordsville residents that are impacted on the southeast side, maybe one or two residents, and we said, yeah, from what we could see, we would support the project as well. So they asked us to help contribute in some particular pro rata share, which we haven't finalized that, but we said we support the project. And then we read the park impact fee first reading, and that's probably it.
Okay.
Hopefully that was exciting and captivating.
It always is.
Well, why don't you just sit in the meeting?
I'm so busy, Larry. I just got so much.
You like the
going on.
5-minute read?
so much better.
Yeah, the 5-minute read's better.
Yeah, I got the kids home and I gotta stay there. All right. Do we have any public comment? No? Okay. Well then, our next meeting will be August 1st. And I just need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
One second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes 4-0. Wow. Quick one tonight.
Yeah.
Frank the Tank.
Ryan, when are you fixing the lake by my house
Can I
so
put that
Dawn
in the
stops
minutes?
calling you?
No, you're adjourned.
Every time we have a meeting, she's like, I called the town. I said, it's.
I emailed her back today about something. You know,